Hi, I'm Jody, a relationship and sex therapist based in Southern California. Today I'm doing a book review of the book Hurt So Good, The Science and Culture of Pain on Purpose by Leigh Cowart. This is a book that I read for my sex therapist book club, and I wanted to give a review because I absolutely loved this book. I was excited to get to it. To be honest, I usually read things through Audible because, as an ADHD person, making the time to sit down and read a book is usually not going to happen. But this one, so I did do the Audible book and I highly recommend it. The way that it's very conversational feeling. She's very animated speaker and it's a great book. Basically, this book is a little bit sensationalized, I imagine, as the cover as well as like the topic. You're gonna think that, hey, I'm gonna open this and it's all gonna be about BDSM and some crazy sex stuff, and that is not necessarily the case. Doesn't mean that some of that's not in there, but this book actually kind of looks at like a variety of ways in which people experience pain on purpose and kind of explores, like, that's her question, is like, why do people do this? What do they get out of that? Like, what is the purpose of this thing? And being fascinated by the amount of pain that a person can put themselves through, not only like pushing your body to like its physical limits, but also like the mental emotional component that goes into it as well. So I'm just going to kind of review a little bit of some of the components that she's talking about. I won't go into too much detail. Definitely recommend that you read or listen to this book. I really enjoyed it. I will give you a heads up that the beginning starts a little bit intense. I think it's just a sensationalist kind of thing. The entire book is not intense. There are going to be some parts that they're not talking about anything sexual at all, and other parts where there are maybe not even sexual, but components that are a little bit harder to listen to. There were some that kind of hit a little bit of my ooh, like, skeeved out, kind of thing that some people practice. But, others, as we'll talk about in a second, completely normal. Lee's very open about like what she experiences and, just things that she enjoys or has had happen in her life. She's very open about like her particular preferences, like with her partner, and she does talk about that. But she also talks about like growing up with like ballet and things, and that was like one of the topics that kind of came up throughout the book. How much, for something that's perceived as so pretty, how much pain and ugliness kind of comes into it. They talk about like the spicy food. They even give histories of these things and like religious, high morality reasons that people used to do things that would harm themselves. There's a lot of different components. She also used like running, marathons. I do recommend people don't kind of jump to a conclusion about like what it's going to be, but I highly recommend this book. It was one of my favorites that I've read in a while. It was very interesting. Let me know your thoughts if you've read it.